Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for the divine masculine and the divine feminine and the current union energy going on for Christmas. Thought I'd do a Christmas portal reading. And Christmas, very important time of year for many people, and it's really about Christ consciousness and that universal love, and that's a very good foundation to have for the love you're calling in as you deepen into union with your true twin flame. And that also then involves the rest of your life, like your life purpose, because you put so much time and energy into what you love to do, hopefully, and hopefully you're always kind of working towards like moving in that direction so that you can support sharing what you're meant to share. And that that looks different for everyone, so don't be ashamed of just loving yourself right where you're at. Like, if you're sharing fries with the world, and then that's like really great, like you're doing great. And if you're sharing something else, then you're sharing that. So just just always keep checking in with yourself. And I think that must be coming up right now with the whole, I think of Saint Nick and the whole, like, are you sharing from that genuine place as he really did. There's a really cool story that I read recently about him and some father, I believe, who was gonna like prostitute his daughter or something, or it's some kind of terrible, like, either marriage or prostitution situation for money. And this was back in the day, of course. But yeah, so Saint Nick mysteriously left bags of money so that didn't have to happen for her. And so it was just like a completely like generous move. And I don't think that he necessarily wanted to be found out, but it was kind of like figured out who he was. So maybe you know more about this story. I've only read it like once, so I'll probably read it again so that I really get super clear and on other other cool things that the saint allegedly probably did. So yeah, that's fun to talk about. So let's get into the reading. And I've got the Nature's Whispers Oracle, and then I have one Rumi card in the middle to really focus on the love and romance. We'll see what that card is about, and some rose quartz here as well. So let's get started. We'll start the Divine Masculine today. And culmination of vision. So yeah, there's something culminating here for the Divine Masculine. There's like a sense of, hey, I've reached a plateau, and now it's time to look. This kind of also speaks to the whole kind of looking back and reflecting on your year, and maybe even on your whole life and how you've gotten where you are today, and perhaps going deeper with your own twin flame journey and clearing blocks to loving your divine feminine in the way that you do desire to love her, which means in turn, loving yourself, right? So there's no separation there. So if there's a problem there with loving your twin flame, then focus on loving yourself and watch how it magically resolves. So this card feels pretty straightforward. There's also transformative energy going on with the butterflies, and getting to look out, getting to look up, and getting to look down. Really like seeing everything just as it is right now is a really nice gift. It's a really refreshing thing. I noticed today where I am near LA, it was an extra clear day as I was taking a walk. I could see the mountains. I could see really far out like this. So that was cool. So I'm going to move on to the Divine Feminine card now. You are worth it. Yes, you are worth it. Divine Feminine, this is about claiming your value. If anything is coming up during this time, during Christmas time, around feeling really given to or not feeling really given to or whatever, just make sure that you're giving that love to yourself and you're bringing God into that place with you in your heart as well, and knowing that you don't owe anything to anyone, right? I mean, yeah, like, sure, you have to, pay what you need to pay, like, take care of your agreements, and things like of that nature. But as far as like familial ties and things, if you have felt indebted, I would just take a careful look at any patterns there where people actually might have abused you in the past and tried to make you feel indebted and continued to abuse like this cycle that doesn't make any sense because it's just based in fear and ego. And know that like you can claim your full worth now, and that like someone else's karma is not your karma. They can't really put that on you, but you do have to claim that for yourself, and that's really good for your twin flame union too, because if there's a part of you where you're not claiming your value or having an energy leak in some way, then that's being reflected probably, in a way that's like kind of displeasing. So you do the mirror exercise, and you also like listen to God. Like, God gave me a nice insight today. Like regarding this, and just more clarity into some relationships I've had in the past and the truth of them, family-wise and otherwise, that weren't so good, right? But I didn't know at the time, and they could have gone differently, right? Like, people could make a new choice just because someone is not aware that like maybe they're not aware, they're like kind of using you or something on some level. And if you point it out, or if they become aware and make a new choice, then like you guys could potentially have, a healthy relationship if there is love there, and because it kind of just points like, well, was there ever love there, right? So just know that yes, people can always make a new choice, even if you set very strong boundaries, even if you block people or whatever, but that's up to them. And you don't want to hold your energy. You don't want to like kind of let your feelings leak into their space and hope that that's going to happen, or that somehow you giving your energy still to that situation is going to help. It's not going to help. And some people are always just going to take advantage, and that's their thing, right? Now, on the other hand, you might have a really wonderful family, and so like, this, what I'm speaking to, it may have taken place in one form or another in your life, somehow resonate for you, right? And it could also resonate if you're the divine masculine. It's not just a divine feminine thing. But you're worth it also if you're already off to a good start. And that's another thing too. Don't let anyone tell you like, oh, you don't deserve to have it good. That's not what it means either. But it also means like if you have it good and everything, then yeah, you do have that responsibility. Like, are you taking advantage of other people? If you're not, or anything like that, then there's no insecurity to be had, and you don't need to like give your good away in a way that's like inappropriate, or in a way that allows you to be walked on or anything like that. So sometimes you just have to claim all that back and start from square one, and then you can get generous again, and this and that. But like, yeah, just don't be afraid to like claim back your power, and just take an honest assessment of where your peace of mind is at. Like, you in truth, like the peace within you is perfect. It's untarnished. And so just getting back to that place easily, however that looks for you, is a really good thing to do at this time. It really speaks to Christ consciousness and to the spirit of Christmas. And from this place, then you can give really purely. because we do desire to give, and of course we desire to receive too, but like the giving thing, that is what we want to do. We just don't want to like be, taken advantage of or not supported or give to in a way that we should, like kind of be giving over here. Instead, you want to live and learn and like find out what's the most effective way too. So yeah, just going into your worth and taking some time for just you, basically. So cultivating that peace within, some nice self-care, some time to revive, maybe reflect on the year, maybe if you got to see like the conjunction, and just enjoy the solstice, kind of really like finishing out whatever came up with that for you, and going back again to that Christ consciousness. That was a really bright event in the sky, right? Like there's some speculation it could have been the star around Jesus Christ's birth, but whatever the truth is there, I mean, that's it's hard to say, right? But there's something true about the sentiment, in my opinion, because it like when I felt it, when I looked in the sky and I did see it, and yeah, like there was just something about that really touched me very deeply and was inspiring to me about like how light coming together and the light of your union, really there is a real synergy to it. There's something very real about it. Go figure, right? Like that's, you're not like on the journey, because there's not. But yeah, sometimes just like seeing something really phenomenal or experiencing that energy, it lights up something new in my consciousness, in a new way. Like there's just a lot of beauty there to be seen about the truth, and so the truth wants to be fully seen. So it's really always feels really good to get to experience that. So let's move on to the Rumi card. Oh, well, that's a nice one. Sacred Union. And yeah, it looks kind of almost like, I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but it looks like frosting on a cake to me, kind of, just the way it's all like swirling and the colors. Yeah, it's really nice. And of course, it's a very good sign for that you're making progress on your union wherever you're at. And no, I mean, this card doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be in harmonious union today or tomorrow, or that your twin flame is going to like, buy you the gift of your dreams today, but maybe so, right? Like, but either way, like, just keep remembering that God is your source here, because like that, how else are these two people like, in this union kind of floating or whatever they're doing in a dance? Like, it's not by themselves that they're doing this, although yeah, they're kind of in a very nice protected bubble, but God is right there with them, and God really like loves this thing that's happening, right? Like, it's like, yes, like my creation is fully embodying itself, like, yay, just think about how much joy that brings to God to see that, like, not living in some kind of separation. And we experience moments of this until you're really in perfect union too, and sometimes there's going to be upsets then that take you to healing the upset, but it doesn't need to take you down, right? It doesn't need to take you away from your harmony and your union. So also remember that. I think that's a nice Christmas gift within this card, is to remember that your upsets don't need to take you down. They're really just gonna ground you into wherever your vibration needs the most attention. And so you don't want to give in to the ego belief that you can be taken down, essentially. Yeah, that's a belief of the ego. It's separation, right? Like, that really speaks to the original separation itself. Like, you can be taken down, you can be taken away from God. So that's not true. So yeah, and then that also speaks to the birth of Christ and what he brings, through his message, and eternal love, right? That you can share. You don't have to be someone in particular to do that. You can love right from where you're at and know that it is received, and do it from, just from a place that feels good. You never need to try to impose yourself upon another. And that's another good thing too. And you don't need to be imposed upon. Like today when I was taking a walk and someone wanted to yell at me Merry Christmas in kind of a almost threatening tone. And this was my experience, right? I mean, I'm sure he wasn't aware that he was completely doing this, but and I was like, I think he is trying, maybe trying to say that to me like from across the street, but I'm doing my own thing here, and I no, just cool. It sounds like you need to wish yourself a Merry Christmas, sir. And he yelled it again. I don't know. I feel like he knew I heard, and I just was like, okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's a good reminder too, that just because someone's yelling at you, even if there's something there that you feel like you're obliged to engage in, you're really not. You don't owe anyone that, if that's coming from a true place of peace and joy, then that's where you can meet other people. And it doesn't mean you need to necessarily ignore someone, or or obviously you never want to do something that's not based out of compassion or unconditional love. But sometimes that just looks like you first, or maybe you're just not in the best place, and you do something, and of course someone's going to interpret it however, but that's also not your problem. You just don't want to, though, go about life in an upset. So that's also on you to get to a place where you feel good, right? You feel good in your interactions with life, no matter how they look on the outside at any given moment. And just know that God's right there with you and showing you the way, right? So if there's a moment where you feel unsure, you can always invite that within you more deeply. And don't be afraid to look at what's there, because this is the truth of what's there. So that's also the message of Christmas. Unwrap your gifts, don't leave them wrapped. Whatever they may be initially, it is a gift from God. And it's gonna give you what you need right now to take you to the next step. Even if it's a lump of coal, okay? Then you could put it in your barbecue and it'll help you make great steaks. So there you go. Whatever it is. Hopefully it's not a lump of coal. Hopefully it's really nice chocolate, or just something wonderful. But also remember to give that to yourself during this time, so you don't need to depend on other people. Don't be upset about what anyone is or isn't giving you, including your twin flame. Please just enjoy yourself. That's really the message here. Just enjoying yourself and being the eternal gift giver, right? And that means giving to yourself, because when you learn how to give to yourself, then you'll be much better at giving to another. And you can keep cultivating that as you go. Maybe what you gave yourself last year or 3 years ago, in terms of self-care and this and that, now you need a lot more, or maybe you actually need a little less in certain ways, but you need more emotional support for yourself or whatever. So don't be afraid. And when I say give to yourself, of course, That also means supporting yourself with other people's services, with other people's, like maybe you're gonna get some nice face cream, or maybe you're gonna make it yourself, but probably you're gonna get it from somewhere, right? Maybe you're gonna get yourself a nice astrology reading to start out the new year. And you can always check out below, and you can always book a session with me and have it based on astrology, or pulling cards in it too. The purpose of it is always ascension, so keep that in mind. And just reach out if you have any questions, right? And that's about it. So I'll be back for another video before the new year, and I wish you happy holidays, merry rest of your Christmas time, and yeah, start reflecting if you haven't already, and then think about what it is that you really want to call in for the new year too. All right, take care. Bye.